Well, good morning, everyone. This is meteorologist Ted Keller, and I thought I'd record a heads up for tomorrow, Friday. So, we're expecting a possibility of some severe weather, at least in a portion of the Ozarks. For you folks living east of Springfield, you're under the gun for a greater threat, as you can see on this map. We'll explain in a minute. We also have some wind, just not thunderstorm wind, just ambient wind flowing into the center of a very rapidly deepening low way to the north of us. So anyway, so here's the severe weather outlook for tomorrow, Friday, and the Storm Prediction Center issues these. You can see they have a scale on the left side here. It goes from 1 to 5, with 1 being the lowest risk, 5 being the highest. So they just upgraded this today from previous outlooks to the 4. So that's this entire reddish area right here. So if you're looking at where that is in the Ozarks, it begins on a line that runs from roughly Columbia to Rolla to, I don't know, around Alton, Missouri, somewhere around there. And then it drops off pretty significantly beyond that. So this is, an upgrade to be taken seriously. The main threat, I think, with this as it develops will be straight line winds, but there is a tornado risk associated with this as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And this is the tornado outlook. So when you see the percentages listed here, that's the percent chance of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of a point being you. So draw a circle around yourself, and so a 10% probability is fairly high. And again, that has backed up a little bit more into southwest Missouri, so it's close to Lebanon and Ava, but it's really meant, I think, for areas to the east of those areas, and it drops off, to 5 and eventually 2% after that. So if you're getting the idea of what's happening here, we have a developing area of thunderstorms, which will start out as single cells and kind of elevate it a little bit. So there's a wind threat with that, maybe some hail. And then as we get into the later part of the afternoon and the evening, the conditions become more favorable for not only straight line wind damage across the entire line, but also a tornado threat. So if you are planning a trip to St. Louis or into the Boot Heel or Cape Girardeau, you want to be watching the forecast very carefully for Friday. And that would be a lot of this. So dark will hit probably right around here somewhere when the thunderstorm line is going, maybe here. So much of this will be an evening or possibly even a nocturnal event for areas far to the east of Springfield. So we also have a wind issue. So we have a fire weather watch across all of southwest Missouri and a chunk of Kansas. We also have a high wind watch. That covers areas from Springfield eastward, roughly. That again, all these are for tomorrow, Friday, late in the day. And finally, we have a wind advisory, which is a little bit, this means we'll have wind gusts over 30 miles per hour or 40 miles per hour, I should say, off to the east of us. And again, that's for Friday. So let's take a look at the latest high resolution model and see what it's doing with radar and severe weather potential, and also see what it's cooking up for our wind gusts for Friday afternoon. Well, often in March, we're looking at storm systems coming in off the Pacific, usually approaching us from the southwest, and this latest one is no exception. Here it is. It's the 500 millibar chart, and we'll just kind of look at this. First of all, these are the colors are wind speeds, and the winds are generally just flowing along the black lines. As a general rule, this is 500 millibars. Anyway, so this is this big storm just coming ashore in California now with a huge feed of moisture on that wind. And as we look at this, this is going through the next, this is late this afternoon. And then this is the overnight hours here tonight. You can see a speed max is what we call that in the biz. And this is a very potent weather system. It's going to lead to a very strong deepening of a low. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And then this right here is opening up on Friday morning. So whenever you have this area right here where the winds aloft are kind of spreading apart, it really does encourage upward motion of air. It's a very dynamic system. It's an okay system with regard to moisture return, although it seems to be getting better. And what I mean by that is when south winds develop and draw moisture off the Gulf, and draw it northward, that's what helps to fuel potential for severe storms, heavy rain, all that's connected. So this is that storm system, and so as it moves through, it's very, very dynamic. As I said, this is Friday afternoon, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, huge wind speeds aloft. And so for the Ozarks, this can translate, these winds here at this level, about 18,000 feet, can be transferred, the momentum of that downward. So that's why there's a wind problem here coming up in southwest Missouri with wind gusts to 60 easy, I think. And then just for information's sake, this thing actually wraps up on Sunday out to the east of us on the East Coast. There's actually 3 rounds of severe weather, including another one in the deep south and southeast on Saturday. So a pretty active storm system, to say the least. Let's take a look at some more model data here. And if I can do this really quick on the fly, we'll go to the surface and just show you the intensity of this low as it's expected to develop here. Shift that back. Sorry about that. There we go. And let's back this up a little bit to here, and we'll just watch this thing develop here. So we have strong south to southeasterly winds blowing along and across these isobars here as this low develops and matures. So here is Friday evening. That low is sitting just about over central Nebraska, and you can see this arc of severe thunderstorms right here. That starts right around West Plains. This is 0Z, so this is 7 p.m. tomorrow. If I had to back that up 3 hours, let's say, to here, you can see it's trying to develop over Springfield. So these will be high-base thunderstorms at first, and then as the moisture gets better and we get into evening, this squall line basically just matures and becomes a little more dangerous as we go into the evening hours. So, and then this low is actually very, very deep for a low pressure system in the Great Plains, blizzard conditions in the northern plains. But here in the Ozarks, it's all warm weather stuff that we're talking about. Let's take a look at the high resolution model. Here's a look at how the high resolution model, the HRRR, handles the radar output for the next day or so. So this goes into Friday here. This is 6 p.m. tonight, not much going on. Strong winds. I'll take a closer look at that in a minute. But then here we're at about noon on Fridays. So again, that low up to the northeast of us, very strong. The isobars, which are these lines right here, are really packed together. So strong winds initially out of the south and south-southeast. And then it changes direction to more of a southwest to west direction later in the day on Friday, by the way. So still at noon, no sign of thunderstorms. And then finally we get to about 4 p.m. here, and we're starting to see just an inkling of a few cells like here. I'm kind of surprised that more's not developing, considering this is a convection allowing model. What does that mean? It just means that the people who put this computer model together kind of made it so that, yeah, if there's ever a doubt about a thunderstorm developing, let's kind of nudge it in that direction and go to that extreme. So we don't get a thunderstorm line developing here till 9 p.m. or so, 10 p.m., way out to the east of us. I'm not sure I buy this model output. I actually wanted to use it for wind, and we'll do that here next. Let's take a look at wind gusts. I think we can do that right here. There we go. And I'm going to back this up for you so you can see what the evolution of that looks like. So here we go. And this is, let me get this back in focus. There we go. Let me see. So this is Thursday tonight. So you can see the areas of purple are 30 mile per hour wind gusts. This is out of the southeast overnight tonight. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow. Friday, 7 a.m. You can see the numbers with the various cities there, 20 mile per hour gusts, 30 mile per hour gusts. And then it switches direction later in the day, not quite here. Here's 9 a.m., 33 mile per hour gusts in Springfield up to 42. Notice that Joplin's 52 miles per hour. This is at 10 a.m. And then the wind shifts to more of a westerly direction. You can kind of see that happening here as those reds increase. So 46 mile per hour in Springfield. That is going, let's see, that's... yeah, that was noon. And then look at these wind gusts here. So the yellow is 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So Kansas City will easily get that. Parts of the Ozarks, especially to the north and northwest of Springfield, will certainly do that. So now you can understand why there's a high wind watch. That's 4 p.m. on Friday. So we have this extensive area here of very, very strong winds. And that's the area. And the direction is going to be out of this direction like here. So, again, just, garbage can alert for tomorrow. Hang on to things. And these are not thunderstorm winds. These are just ambient winds blowing because of that very strong jet stream and that deepening low. I'll be keeping an eye on the situation. Hopefully, most of the severe weather will occur once it really ramps up, once it gets far east of the Ozarks. That's my hope. We'll talk to you in the next video.